Do you just go to Whole Foods and just pick up your ingredients and start whipping up the P-nuff?
Senor Q.
We are here back at it again. And one of the things that I'm excited to talk to you about today is related to the Pnuff experience. Now, obviously, when you open up the bag, it's delightful. It's great. You get a little crunch. And, if you haven't had one, I recommend you to stop watching this video. Go to the website and buy yourself a bag or 2 or 6. You can go ahead and make your own variety pack too. Trust me, it's worth every cent. And it wouldn't be on Shark Tank if it was trash. So in your absence, we'll talk about how the product is actually made. And by the time you return, hopefully you agree with me that it tastes really good. But if not, at least you'll know how it's made. So Dr. Juan, please tell me, how do you make a protein puff? Because is it as simple as taking a scoop of the protein, I get the powder, drop it in there, and I make like a nice little puffy something? How do I go from powder to the magnificent P-nuff puff?
Peanut puff, man. Thanks for the question. You got me thinking now, man. My science brain now it's gotta get into it, man. Because the funny thing, man, when somebody asks me about what is peanut puffs and they've never seen it before, first thing I have to think is like, okay, how would I describe this, right? And the first thing that comes to mind is like, well, Cheetos. I said, right? Cheetos. Now, Cheetos is a puff. It's not a protein puff, but it is a puff. So following the example of Cheetos, how is Cheetos made and how is puffs made? Basically, man, it's called an extrusion process, right? And basically what we're trying to do, use raw materials, natural raw materials, beans, in my case, rice. And what we're trying to do, man, is actually making pop, almost like popcorn. And you put them on heat, and after a while, man, they start popping. That's exactly the same thing that we're trying to do with a peanut puff. We're doing this with things other than popcorn, which is what makes it so cool, including protein. So we add brown rice to it, we have peanuts, we have beans, and we're making these things pop and form into that typical shape that you see on like Cheetos or cheese puffs. So it's got the nice crunch to it. In addition to it, it's got all these nutrients because we're adding these natural ingredients. That's basically, as an overall, that's what a peanut puff is, and that's how you make it, by making it puff, almost like popcorn.
No, thank you for that explanation. Super detailed, and it gives me a little bit more of insight into how this puff comes to be. But the question now I'm wondering is do you just add dust and that adds the flavor, or how does the flavor really come to light?
Yeah, man, the flavor dusting. So flavor is it's a very cool, interesting process, man, because everything starts with a matrix.
The matrix?
Right? So our matrix is the rice, the beans, and the peanuts, right? But then we can actually start adding different flavors to it so that you get more of a sweet taste or a savory taste or more peanut butter taste. And the way we do that is by adding, again, natural ingredients. Now we're adding it topically. So we have the core. Now we add cinnamon, for instance, topically, and that's how we make our peanut cinnamon. Same thing with our chocolate. We actually use natural cocoa. And so we add this natural cocoa as a topping, and it goes through this process called tumbling. So we, all the little pieces start tumbling inside this drum, and inside of it we start adding, the natural ingredients like cocoa or cinnamon, and so it gets topically attached to the product, and then it turns into that delicious product that you were talking about before.
I see you. So, and I also see you in this magnificent kitchen. Do you just go to Whole Foods and just pick up your ingredients and start whipping up the peanut, or where are these ingredients coming from? Because I see the boxes back there, marshmallows, man. What you got back there, man?
I tell you, man, when you hear stories about everything started in the kitchen, this is it. It's like a kitchen, man. Like everything, even at big companies, man, they have rooms like this where they have bins with different ingredients and flavors and powder, and everything starts right here, man, in the kitchen with some idea and dusting little thing here, dusting little there, see what happens. I do buy certain things in Whole Foods, right?
Man, I listen to Migos, and they always say, you gotta whip and work in the kitchen. So I love to see that. Now the real question is, do you go overseas for the ingredients too? Are you getting the product from overseas?
We get everything from the USA, man. Everything is from the USA. America! Bro, here's the thing. In the USA, man, we got a multitude of cultures. and all these multiple cultures have brought their knowledge into the country, man. And now we have manufacturers of great international flavors made right here in the USA. You don't have to go outside of the US, man.
Dude, the one thing that the USA has got me addicted to that I didn't find overseas is sugar. Man, I love me some sugar. You got any sugar in the peanut?
Yeah, no. Well, we use organic cane, which is very nice, clean, sugary, sweet taste. But only 2 grams, man. Because see, one of the things that we're trying to do is keep the sugar level low, man. We've managed from adding other ingredients like cinnamon and cocoa that are naturally sort of like sweet. We're adding those so we don't have to add that much sugar to it.
This is what I want to know. Now that we've added the flavors topically and we've baked the product, we've made it come to life, how do you package it? Like, do you just take it off the line, throw it in a bag and call it a day? Or like, is there a unique process to that?
Packaging is complicated, man. I don't even know how to package the damn thing. I had to hire someone, man, to help me out. But there's actually a machine, man, which is pretty cool because, you know, you all have scales at home, like the one scales that you stand on in the morning to see how much weight you gain or lost every day. It's the same
Dr.
principle.
Juan, what kind of operation you running over there, man?
Yeah, scale, dude. Just like the one you stand on in the morning. But listen, this machine, bro, it's got like 12 of those in like a very high tech. So it sends a signal to another machine underneath, and it tells them when it reaches exactly the right amount that goes into a bag, you know, like in our case, it's like 113 grams. It tells them to open, it's like a bucket. It tells them open the bucket and the product just falls into a bag that is being formed and sealed, right? So
you got the robots packaging the product.
It works out pretty good. So everybody should be getting the same exact amount of product every time you buy a bag of peanuts. If you get less, you better call me and complain about it and tell me that there's a problem, and then we'll address it. But that should not happen as long as Dr. Juan is in the house.
I will go restock my kitchen with all the Pnuff. I'm gonna go check out the variety pack. That's actually my favorite thing to buy. It's like every time you just grab something out the box, you don't know what you're getting, but it tastes great. Well, I will catch you in the future, Dr. Juan. Thank you. It's always been a pleasure.